What's up, everyone? How are you? Hope you're doing great. It's great to see you. I hope that your spring is going well and you're ready for summer. I was just out on the trails, and this last night I did some overlanding camping and thought I'd stop and do a 2-year video review on my RSI SmartCap, my EVO Adventure. Now, I did a video a year ago and I kind of went through and told some of the features and the different models that are available and just kind of showed the one that I have. Since then, if you've been following my channel, you've noticed that I've been putting this thing through everything. I've had it through sub-zero temperatures. Last winter was just brutal and it really put it to the test. I've taken it down a lot of trails. I've shaken it up quite a bit on these trails, and it's been through everything. So it's been a year since that last video, and that last video was very popular. I had a lot of questions, and a lot of people commented about their smart caps, and people that had questions about buying them, they also asked a lot of questions. So in this video, I would like to go through, I would like to talk about some of the questions that you as viewers had and try to kind of answer some of them from the experiences I've had and some of the modifications I've done with my EVO Adventure. I want to show you some of the stuff that I've attached to it, how I've kind of set my stuff up, because I've been switching things around over the last year and just trying different things out depending on kind of the weather and where I'm at. So in this video, let's go talk about 2 years with my EVO Adventure Smart Cap. Let's go do it. All right, so I got a whole list of questions. I got them all written down. I'm gonna try to answer all of them, get to each of them. But I'm starting out inside the truck this time. The last video I started out outside, and I had a question that I didn't want to forget. Last fall, during the Fall 4x4 Fest that Northology Adventures puts on, I had one of the vendors, we were chatting about the cap, and he said, oh, it's stainless steel. How are you sticking things to it if it's stainless? Well, this steel is automotive grade. So because it's automotive grade, it's a different type of steel. I'm not big into metalworking, fabricating. I'm not in that field, so I don't fully know how metals all work, but I do know that this is magnetic. I had somebody in the comments ask that also. He said, how are you sticking those little stickers that you're putting on the side? These are magnets. These are just magnets of all the different places that I've gone with my vehicle. So hopefully that answers that question. Just wanted to touch up on that real quickly. Let's move on to some more. All right, the next question I had in the comments I want to touch up on is ventilation. How hot does it get in there? How cold does it get in there? How do you keep airflow in there while you're sleeping? How do you keep warm? And how do you cool off? So ventilation is a huge thing. Because of that, when I was looking at purchasing a cap, I was researching multiple brands. I looked at Alucab. At the time, OVS was kind of coming up with the idea of building a cap, but they did not have one at the time. And so SmartCap was very popular in South Africa. They had a plant down there. And so this was a worldwide product, and they were just moving into the North America plant. So it kind of caught my interest. And one of the big things that I really wanted that OVS was not providing at the time was this sliding window right here. So this sliding window allows for ventilation. However, you have the issue with obviously bugs, and you have to worry about the rain getting in. Those are all things that I'm working on right now, customizing something. I've been working on it for a little bit now and slowly customizing screen systems and things like that. Stay tuned to my channel. I will put those out there as I invent them. But what I do for ventilation is I just throw my fan right here in the window, turn that on, and it allows for the flow of the air. Now it does have, the SmartCap does have a vent system on the top. It has the positive pressure vent system, which works great when you're driving on the trails. Reason being the forced air that's forced in there, and it helps to ventilate the inside, but keep the dust out while you're going down the trails. Doesn't work that well while you're parked. So I run a fan just because of that, because other than that, there's not really any ventilation in the back of here. Next question, in terms of ventilation, does the SmartCap have a screen system? Does anybody know what to do with the screen system? Now, originally, I was using magnets, just putting a screen on the outside, tacking magnets on there. That was not sufficient. So what I did is I sat down and I designed this. I created this screen system. This is heavy duty. This is marine canvas, and this is heavy duty screen, very strong. And this is Velcro that just holds it on here. If you saw my winter camping video, I did kind of show this in that video, but I just wanted to show everybody because there was a lot of question about ventilation. Now, I also added a feature in here because I do use this in the winter, and people say, how do you keep this open and stay warm? Well, two things. I have this porthole that I sewed on here. Put your hose through there for your diesel heater. And the other thing is, while I have that, I just shut the shade that I created and I run it right through here. I have a porthole right here that runs through. This keeps it pretty warm in here. With the diesel heater running, it stays warm. So currently SmartCap does not have a screen system. I had created this. This is specific to my truck. I have a 6-foot Tacoma, and this is for the EVO Adventure. So if you have the same exact vehicle, I do have plans for it. If you'd like to get a hold of me, we could figure something out. Maybe I can make one for you. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to custom make it, measure it up specific to your cap size. So I just wanted to cover that. LU Cab also has the screen system. If you're interested in it, if that's a deal breaker, go check out their caps, and they have a screen system set up. So just wanted to cover that. Pretty much covers the ventilation though. I also had a question about the weight. How much weight can this thing hold? Now, technically, it says on their specs that it can hold up to 330 pounds while in motion. So what that means is all the stuff that you have on top of here, rooftop tent, cargo containers, anything like that, up to 330 pounds while in motion. While it is parked, you can have up to 770 pounds. And what that means is that with the tent and putting people in there or extra cargo, once you park, it can hold up to that amount. Now, something that you need to take into mind, if you have a Tacoma in general, some of the beds on the Tacomas are weak on the sides. So you're gonna wanna look at getting bed stiffeners. Those are the angle iron stiffeners that you might have seen in the bed of my truck. It's good to invest in those before you even put this thing on here. Another question that I had was, have you gotten a rooftop tent or thought about getting one? Now, I have thought about it. And as you can see, I have load bars on here. Somebody asked, if you put a tent on there, are you gonna have to worry about those gull wing doors hitting that tent? This is my shower setup. Kind of moved things around a little bit in the last year. Put my high lift jack on here. Ended up taking off one of the solar panels and only have one. This is just a backup to my alternator generator that I installed earlier in the year. I put my shower on this side. I had it up in the front. Now I put it on this side. And yes, this does kind of hit. It is not that bad. But if you're gonna put a rooftop tent up on here, I would advise putting risers on first before you even put it up here. So hopefully that answers the question as far as the top of the cap and things you can put on top and the amount of weight, and if these gull wing doors will hit. So great question. Let's move on. All right, the moment everybody's been waiting for, the locks. The locks are one of the biggest issues that people have been dealing with. If you've had that issue with your dual release locks, I'm with you. I understand. I'm dealing with it as well. And I have some tips that I'm gonna show you that I kind of did, some of the stuff that RSI told me to try. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Now, there are 3 different locks for those that have not bought this cap yet. There are 3 locks. The original locks look like this. They have a frost cover on them, and they're just a basic lock. Now, the problem with these are when you lock them, you close it, there isn't really a way to sleep back here and lock yourself in and be able to get out after. So what they did was RSI came up with the dual release lock. Now, what this does is lock shut. You can pop it shut from the inside, and then when you wake up or you want to get out, you can pop this open. It opens up. This keeps people from getting in while you're inside there, and it also allows you to close it and then pop it back open so you can get out while you're inside. I started having issues with my locks popping open while I was going down a lot of these trails, and then I also had issues in the winter when it got really cold and it just weren't closing. Contacted RSI, and they told me, we are engineering new locks. Now, they said, we are going to send a certain amount of people these locks. We want you to test them, beta test them, and then tell us what you think, your experience with them. Currently, they have not released those locks. I told them I will not put them out on social media. I won't go into detail about them, but I just want to kind of give some people some updates. I do have those locks. They're virtually the same as the first version. These are the V2s. They're the same as the V1s. However, these things do work. So when you're going down the trails and you are really shaking this thing up, they do work. They keep from popping open. They don't pop open when I'm going down the trails. At least I have not dealt with them. However, they have not been released yet. Now, I'm wondering if there was some feedback, because this last winter I did have some issues with these things staying shut. When it got really cold, they would not shut. So that was an issue that I did deal with. I'm kind of glad, and I respect that RSI is not going to just throw them out on the market, and they're going to make sure these things are solid before they're put out there. That's as far as I'm going to get into those. That's as far as anything I'm going to release on information on those. But I want people who are interested in buying this to understand that the locks have been an issue. And I also want people that already own these, that are just fed up with it. I want you to understand that there is a solution coming, and it should be here very soon. So stay tuned. I'm going to let you know as soon as I know about these locks. But in the meantime, let me show you some of the tricks that I did with the V1 dual release locks that might help you. They might help so that you don't have to go through the hassle that we've been going through this whole time. So let's go try some tips. On to some tips. If your locks keep popping open, mine have been doing that, especially on rough trails. They pop open, you can't shut them. And also in sub-zero temperatures, if you need some tips on how to hopefully lock your locks and keep them shut, this is what I did. I know we shouldn't have to do this. This shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it is. So until the new locks come out, let me show you some tips. First of all, I got a screwdriver. I like to carry that with me. RSI initially told me, if you're having issues with this, back off the screw that's on here, the little Phillips head screw, tighten it all the way down, and then back it off about half a turn to a full turn. Try that, see if that works. Now, if that does not work, your next thing is to take the little plunger, and what you want to do is you want to drive that all the way down, screw it all the way down, and then slowly work it forward until that thing closes. That might work, might not work. If none of those work, your next best bet, something that I learned that actually has helped me, is lock it first. Lock all your locks first before you're going down the trail. Then put a lot of pressure down on those gullwing doors, and it locks it shut. Those are some of the tips that I have. Those are the only things that I've learned that work with these locks if they keep popping open. Now in sub-zero temperatures, I have actually had to take those locks off of there, warm them up for a while, and then put them back on there. Like I said, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just showing you things that I've had to do because I've gone through the same thing you all have been going through as well. This is something that hopefully is remedied with these new locks. Like I said, the new locks, they do not pop open on the trails. I have shook this thing up and they do not pop open. However, in the cold, there's a lot of difficulty in keeping them shut. So that's the locks. I'm glad that we could go over that because there's a lot of questions about that. All right, so that was 2 years with my RSI SmartCap, my EVO Adventure. And I just wanted to jump on here because that was a very popular video after the 1 year review. And a lot of people commented, a lot of people had questions, a lot of people had issues. And I have the same questions, and I've probably dealt with the same issues as a lot of you have. This is for everybody that owns a SmartCap. This is for everybody that is looking at buying a cap, is interested in maybe going with a SmartCap. I just wanted to do the video. I wanted to just kind of answer some of these questions. Hopefully it helped you a bit. And if you have issues with your SmartCap, or if you really love your SmartCap, jump on the comments, let everybody know. If you want to vent, go ahead and vent as well. I am not working for RSI. I'm not an employee. I'm not an ambassador for them. I'm not pushing their products, but I do like this SmartCap. I do. It has been through everything and more, and it has held up. Some small things, very annoying things, the locks. Some people have had issues with the paint. I have not had any issues with the paint, just one small little spot. But other than that, I've had no issues with the paint. And just some of all the little small minor things that, you know, you just kind of have to fabricate over time or custom make yourself that RSI just doesn't offer. Some of the other caps do offer that. I'm not telling you to not go buy a different cap. I'm just saying this is the one that I ended up going with. If I could go back in time and buy a different cap, I would probably buy the OVS cap only if it had that sliding door on it. That is a deal breaker for me. It has the ventilation, and that's kind of something I wanted to go with. So I decided to go with the SmartCap, not to mention OVS did not have their cap at that time. That does not mean that there aren't other caps out there. LU cap is another one. They're all good caps. I just went with SmartCap. That was my decision, personal decision. You may choose something different. But like I always say, jump in the comments, subscribe, and like my channel, and continue to follow along. I have a lot more things coming up, a lot more overlanding adventures coming up. I am doing ambassadorships with Northology Adventures, great digital magazine, a lot of information, a lot of products. Go check out their stuff as well. And hopefully I see you on the next adventure.